Everybody. Now we're going to talk about page 7 in our text for the day. So, first things that you should note, the first sentence talks about how you're going over a cliff. And so, what this should immediately bring to your mind is that you must have been coming out of some sort of an abyss. Okay. So, you should really think about that, hold that in your mind for the rest of the book as we come to a better understanding of the place that we're going to and the place that we just left from. What you should also note is that we're finally seeing color, and color is going to be everywhere throughout the rest of the story. Okay, so just pay attention to that as just a brief aside. Another thing that you should note is that all of the passengers are rushing to get off the bus. Where are they going? Do they even know what's outside? I don't know. I don't think so. And I certainly don't think that they did. Rather, them rushing, them climbing over the top of each other to get out of the bus is the same position that they were taking in trying to get into the bus. It's really just always a hurried mass of people flitting to and fro, just like Napoleon, without any real direction. And that's another thing that you should take from this, is that there's no direction for all of these souls. They're kind of pointless in what it is that they're doing. Okay. As we move forward, and Lewis talks about the main character first getting off the bus, you should note that he says, "The light and coolness that drenched me were like those of summer mornings." As soon as I thought about this, I thought about back whenever I was a Boy Scout and my summers at Camp Avondale in Louisiana. And I just loved to wake up earlier than everybody else, go to the dining hall, get a cup of coffee, and then just walk and see the sunrise over the fields and over the lake. And it was around this time of the day that obviously everything was covered in dew, right? And that's kind of what Lewis is trying to get here. Obviously, Lewis himself wasn't a Catholic, but what you should remember is that Lewis's best friend is J.R.R. Tolkien, a devout Catholic and the author for The Lord of the Rings. I'm sure that, and because it was Tolkien's favorite thing to do as he writes in his letters, I'm sure that at some point Lewis went to Catholic Mass with him, and as an avid scholar would have noted these words during the epiclesis of the Mass. Haec ergo dona quae sumus spiritus tui rore sanctifica, which is to say, make holy therefore these gifts, we pray, by sending down your spirit upon them like the dewfall. And I really do believe that this is the image that Lewis has in his mind at the time. He's really thinking about this mysterious dewfall, this mysterious spirit that somehow is covering all the ground that he's at, that's granting him so much peace in this place. A peace that he himself is familiar with on all the summer mornings that he describes as a child, a peace that he experiences in the celebration of the Christian liturgy. And finally, what you should know is that this time of day, even though it brings comfort to our main character, is also very concerning for him because he realizes that he, like everybody else, is a phantom. He can see the grass coming up through his feet. And we remember that image, hopefully, of him trying to pick out that daisy that he just can't seem to grab. And he struggles with that one leaf, and he says it's heavier than a sack of coal. What you should be getting from all of this is what I talked about a few lectures ago. Lewis is trying to grapple with the confusing nature of reality in heaven, right? And he's trying to convey in some way that everything is simply more real than we could possibly describe. He says that in looking at heaven as if it's real, everyone else looks like ghosts, but in looking at the ghosts as if they are fully real, then heaven is something so much more solid than we can possibly comprehend. Okay, so that should be the main takeaways that we have from page 7.